Hello friends, welcome to KK Java Tutorials. In this video tutorial, we'll talk about how to configure Tomcat connection pool in Spring Boot 2, right? Why I said Spring Boot 2? Because the way we used to configure a Tomcat connection pool in Spring Boot 1 is totally different how we configure in Spring Boot 2. So we'll see this distinguish, and apart from that, once we go through all the concept, then finally we'll jump into the practical example. So let's start. So first of all, to configure Tomcat connection pool in Spring Boot, you need to keep one key point in your mind. In Spring Boot 1, Tomcat connection pool was the default connection pool, but in Tomcat in Spring Boot 2, Hikari connection pool is the default connection pool. So this was the one of the change happened in Spring Boot 2, right? Now, Tomcat JDBC dependency. So of course, if you want to use a Tomcat connection pool in a Spring Boot especially, then you need to use some kind of dependency in your pom.xml, right? So before using Tomcat connection pool, we need to make sure that we have resolved Tomcat JDBC dependency, and this is the dependency we'll have to add in your pom.xml if you are using Maven as a build automation tool. Yeah. Key point, in the older version of Spring Boot 1, before Spring Boot 2 release, we did not to include Tomcat JDBC in pom.xml, or if you are using Gradle as a build automation tool, then you must have a build.gradle, right? So if you are using Tomcat, Spring Boot 1, then you don't really need to add this dependency on pom.xml or Gradle.build.gradle, right, ourselves, because once you add a Spring Boot starter data JDBC or a Spring Boot starter data JPA, right, this will resolve by default. Again, I'm going to repeat. If you are using a Spring Boot 1, then this dependency you don't need to add at all, right? But if you are using a Spring Boot 2, which is the latest version, then you need to add this dependency, right? So basically what happens, if you are using a Spring Boot starter data JPA or a Spring Boot starter data JDBC in a Spring Boot 1, then this dependency will be included automatically, but in a Spring Boot 2 you have to add it explicitly. Yeah. Now when we talk about the Tomcat connection pool configuration, right? So Tomcat connection pool configuration, we need to enable it by using spring.datasource.type, and you have to assign the fully qualified name of a class in your application.properties, right? So this is the fully qualified name of a class, and that you have to assign to the spring data source type in your application.properties, right? So this will give the hint to the Spring Boot application. Your intention is to use Tomcat connection pool, right? So first step to you add this dependency, and second step what you have to do, you have to add this data source with qualified name to this property in your application.properties. What else then? And one thing you have to keep in mind, guys, if you are using Spring Boot 1, right, then Spring Boot select Tomcat data source by default, and we need not to configure this point. Like you don't need to add this line of code into application.properties in Spring Boot 1, but in Spring Boot 2 you have to add. Right. Now we'll talk about the some frequently used configuration settings when you are using Tomcat connection pool in Spring Boot. Yeah. So first of all, you need to keep in mind Spring Boot basically maintains some kind of standard, right, to keep things in your mind. So of course, if you want to configure all the properties related to Tomcat connection pool in your application.properties, then you have to use basically prefix spring.datasource.tomcat, and asterisk may be replaced by the different property, right? So here we'll talk about the few properties, not all of them, but few, right? If you want to see all the property, then you can basically go to the Tomcat website, right? And there you'll get all those property, but there are few important property which I would like to discuss over here. First, something is called initial size, right? So a Spring data source Tomcat, this is the prefix which will be constant for every properties, and first property is initial size, means here we are going to assign, you can assign some kind of number, integer number, right? And this property indicates that this is the initial number of pool size. So when your application starts, then this much amount of connection will be created at that time, right? Now, uh, next property is called, something is called max wait, right? And that I have assigned in milliseconds. This is in milliseconds, whatever number you are going to assign. That's, I have assigned 10,000 means 10 seconds, right? So what is this number basically? Look at the property name max wait means, let's say your application wants a connection from the connection pool, then if your basically application is going to wait more than 10 seconds, then application is going to throw out of basically timeout exception, right? Because we have given the 10 seconds to wait. If application or application thread does not acquire the connection, then it will throw timeout exception, right? Connection timeout exception. Then max active, right? This is the maximum number of active connections that the pool can allocate at same time, right? So this is the maximum number of connection which is allowed in the pool, right? Then we have a max idle, which is 20, right? That is the max idle is the maximum number of connection that should be kept in the pool at all times, right? And similarly mean idle, that is of course opposite of our one. And next is the auto commit, auto commit feature in the database size, right? That you can set over here, right? So if you can set true, either true or false. I think default is true, right? Now similarly there are some other properties as well. So these are the all concept related to Tomcat connection pool. But one thing we did not talk till yet, why we need connection pool, right? That's a good question, right? So guys, if you are working in any best application, right, you might be getting thousands of requests at a time, right? Have you ever thought, if your thousands are requesting, thousands of requests are, if you want thousands of requests to execute at a time, then every thread, right? If you get the 1,000 requests for your web-based application, that means 1,000 thread in your application, and every thread should have the separate database connection, right? Let's say, think about that. Let's say if you get the 100 requests at a time and your application is capable to create only one connection, then one thread will get the basically database connection, and that will basically start executing, or that will start basically executing your database layer. But 99 requests would be in the queue, right? Queue itself, right? To wait their chance, right? To overcome this situation, what you can do, you can create a database connection pool using Tomcat or Hikari, or there are some other database connection pool, and there you can specify like initial size. So your application starts with the 50, right? 50 connection at all, but that can be basically expand till 100, right? That's the max connection, max active connection, right? So see, in this case, what will happen if I get the 100 requests at a time for my web-based application, then 100 requests will have a separate database connection and they can execute concurrently. In that way we can improve performance of an application, right? And good thing is that if you are using connection pool, then this connection is not going to destroy. Instead, this connection is, once your thread get done with the connection object, database connection object, then that connection is going to return to the pool, means your connection is going to cached. So your connection is going to, database connection is going to reuse. That's the one of the good thing, right? So now let's jump into the practical example, guys, right? So here is the STS, and here I have already created one project is called Spring Boot JDBC Tomcat connection pool example. So it is a very pretty simple example. First of all, let me show you what are the dependency I have added on the pom.xml. So guys, in pom.xml, first dependency I have added a Spring Boot starter data JDBC, right? So that means if you add a Spring Boot starter data JDBC, then what happened, a Spring Boot will use Hikari connection pool as the default one in a Spring Boot 2, right? In a Spring Boot 1, it was Tomcat connection pool by default, right? So if you look into the here Maven dependency, then here you can see Hikari CP or jar is added by default. Reason is that I have chosen a Spring Boot starter data JPU. So by default, Hikari connection pool will be used, right? I hope you understood. Even though if you add a Spring Boot starter data JPA, then Hikari will be chosen as the default connection pool. Yeah. Now I have added my MySQL connection dependency, connection Java, connector Java dependency, because I am using MySQL database, right? And this of the dependency is pretty simple, right? I mean, this is for to write a genuine test cases, and this is one of the plugin which help us to generate the executable jar in the Spring Boot application. Yeah. So let me show you my application. My application. This is the pretty simple Spring Boot strap class, which is the starting point, of our application. So I have a dog class, and here you can see it is annotated as at repository, and this guy is going to implement one interface to perform CRUD operation. There I have auto wired JDBC template, so that we can make call to the database, right, using JDBC template. A JDBC template internally uses data source, right, as you know, right? And here we have a separate method to perform CRUD operation, right? So here let's talk about the like fetch employee ID. So this is a pretty simple API. There you have to pass the employee ID, and this API is going to return employee information for a specified for past passing whatever employee ID passing, right? For that employee information is going to return, right? And here we are using JDBC template. So these code are pretty simple, already we have discussed many times, right? So now let's see if I run this application. Before running this application, let me show you my database, right? So this is my SQL database. So I have a MySQL workbench, and I have configured MySQL database with MySQL workbench. And here in test database, you can see I have an employee table there. I have two records as of now, right? And here in, so here if I could show you, I have an employee class, public setter getter method, right? And if I could show you uh, application.properties, right? Application.properties, I have a database URL, database driver class name, username and password. Driver class is optional, you can remove, but three things: URL, username and password is mandatory, right? Now if I run this application, then let me show you how application behaves. So currently if you look into my bootstrap class, just I'm calling two API. One API is called fetch employee ID, right? And there I'm passing employee ID 1, and second API I'm calling fetch all employees, right? So this will fetch all the employees information currently available in my database. So if I could show you guys default behavior, right? Till it I haven't added anything related to connection pool. So here you can see by default it is using in a Spring Boot 2, it is using Hikari connection pool, right? And this is the output of fetch employee by ID, and this is the output of fetch all employees, right? API, right? Now here I don't want Hikari connection pool. I want to configure what? Tomcat connection pool. Now what are the change we have to do in Spring Boot 2? Let's see. So first what you have to do, you have to go in the pom.xml, and here we have to add one dependency. What is that? This dependency, guys. First of all, we have to add Tomcat dependency, what we have discussed in the slide, right? Now if I press, if I save this, then it is going to download Tomcat JDBC dependency, and it will add in the class path. But if I expand this on Maven dependency, still this Hikari connection pool dependency is on class path. That I don't want, right? Because if you are using JDBC connection pool, then why we need to add Hikari connection pool dependency in the class path? So we need to exclude this dependency, right? Make sense? So what I'll do, why in Spring Boot 2 Hikari connection pool was added? Because of this dependency. This dependency has a transitive dependency on Hikari connection pool. So what you have to do, this dependency starts here and closing here. Between this you have to go and you have, sorry guys, you have to write the exclusions tag. In the exclusions you have to write exclusion, and group ID and artifact ID you have to specify. So basically what I'm trying to tell Spring Boot, hey Spring Boot, don't include Hikari connection pool in my class path, because I want to exclude it. That's it. Because I'm using Tomcat connection pool, so it will exclude Hikari related dependency from the class path. If I save, then you'll see Hikari connection pool will not be anymore in your class path, right? So here Hikari connection pool, if you see, that has gone, right? So this is the second change we should do. So and now what else we can do? So if I run the application, then you'll see before running the application, what I'll do, guys, so this is my Spring Bootstrap class, and here I'm calling this guy fetch employee by ID. Sorry, this is the interface, so I need to go to implementation, and here just I'm going to print data source name, right? What kind of data source is going to use by my application. So here we have a get JDBC template, so I'll call JDBC get JDBC template dot get data source, right? That's it. It will print the basically database, what kind of data source is going to use. So if I go and right click on the project, run as a Spring Boot application. So earlier by default Hikari connection pool, or my Hikari connection pool was getting used by the Spring Boot application, right? Now if you look into, guys, so what kind of connection pool? Yes, of course, this is a Apache Tomcat connection pool, and it is also printing all the properties. So these are properties we didn't see it till it, right? But these are the properties like max active, max idle. These things, this property you can tweak as per your application need. But anyway, we have configured a Tomcat connection pool, right? But how to tweak these basically parameters or these properties, right? So guys, what you have to do, you have to go to the application.properties file, and here I'm going to add these properties, right? So first of all, I have added, of course, once you add basically a Tomcat connection dependency on class path, then Spring Boot clearly understand Spring Boot has to use a Tomcat connection pool. Still optionally you can add this one, right? In slide I said if you are using Spring Boot 2, then this entering this in application properties is mandatory. Sorry for that, but it seems like it's not mandatory, right? Once you add the dependency in your class path, then application is going to use a Tomcat or connection pool, and this is completely optional. But yeah, entering basically Tomcat connection pool related dependency is mandatory. If you want your application should use a Tomcat connection pool, then this is mandatory, guys. These things you have to keep in mind. And please exclude Hikari connection pool from your class path if you are using Tomcat, then, right? These things you have to keep in mind. Now these are the property already we have discussed in the slide, right? And those properties I have given over here, and this is the little comment I have given, so that once you get this source code, then understanding this property would be easier for you. But if you want some more property to be configured in this application properties, then you can visit your Tomcat website, and there you will get all those properties. But if I expand this Maven dependency, then here you see JDBC Tomcat dependency, right? So JDBC 9048 that has been added. So 9048 is, I believe, that's the latest Tomcat we have as of now. So that dependency has been added, and this will basically, that's how basically we can configure a Spring that's how we can configure Tomcat connection pool in a Spring Boot 2, right? So that's all I have. This source code I'm going to basically check in on the GitHub, and GitHub link I will provide in the description part, video description part itself. Thank you.